So, good afternoon, Sam. Thank you so much for getting involved in this week's Business Owner Spotlight. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do?
Hi there, Scott. It's very nice to be here. Thank you very much for having me. So I'm Sam McIlvene. I'm the MD of SeeMeHired. We are a end-to-end software platform that enables recruitment teams to hire more efficiently, more effectively, and more productively. Now, that's a big claim. So what does actually mean? Okay, so what it means is that our core target market is those people who do not use a digital solution for their recruitment and for their onboarding. So they're reliant on email, they're reliant on getting applications from various different sources. They are then manually booking interviews using Teams or Zoom, internet diary. So, and then their onboarding process is they're using saved offer letters and documentation, and they're relying on the candidates to return those in a timely and complete fashion. What we do is we take all those elements, we look at them as 4 core elements, and we digitize that entire workflow process. So in terms of the starting point, in terms of the creation of a job, we have templates set up. So if you have currently a job that recurs on a regular basis, then you have a template for that job. You fill in the correct dates. You can then publish that job. You can publish it to multiple job boards in one swoop. It will also publish to your website, so there's no need then to get in touch with a marketing team to put an ad on your website or take it down from your website. And that's a sort of, and then we enable customers to articulate their sort of brand story, their employment story in terms of why people would want to join them. So that's the sourcing element. We then help engage with customers, and to do that, we have a customer candidate portal. And anybody who applies for a job using SeeMeHired software will be given a link, and they can see where they are in the process. Believe it or not, Scott, in these days, 50% of those people who apply for a job never hear back from the employer.
Interesting.
So the engagement tool is very important, and it gives the candidate a view in terms of where they are in the process. Selection, we have a selection process in terms of scoring applicants against the essential criteria, the desired criteria. We have filter questions, so you can filter people who are ineligible or don't have the right qualifications out for the roles. I'm concerned this is slightly long, but I'll wrap up. We also then set up interviews, and we give customers the opportunity to have face-to-face interviews, telephone interviews, or video interviews. So complete selection. And we prepare interview packs, interview questions, so everybody gets asked the same question to ensure fairness and compliance. And then our final module is the onboarding module. And rather than sending out individual documentations, everything is collected on a portal and sent to the candidate. That includes the offer letter, the contract. It also includes any information that the company might require, such as bank details for payroll, date of birth, and the likes of national insurance number, share code, verification of right to work documentation. So that's all taken care of. Some of our more enlightened customers are sending a video within that pack of one of their senior management team saying, "Hi Scott, welcome to Action Coach. We really hope you'll enjoy your time with the business. Here's what you can expect in your first couple of days. Here's what you can expect as part of your training process." So in a nutshell, that's what it is. What it does for the business, and we have a lot of businesses, particularly in Northern Ireland in hospitality and care, using the service. It makes their teams more efficient, more effective, and more productive.
So when you say more efficient, I mean, is it if I'm thinking of using SeeMeHired, am I thinking I can actually save myself some money in the recruitment process as well as some time, or what would be the key benefits to your clients, do you think?
I think the first one is compliance, and compliance is increasingly important, and the ability to have everything in one place. So when you're asked, how did you employ this person? You're not rootling through your desktop, looking for files in saved folders and trying to find where the interview notes are and trying to compare whether you asked all the candidates the same interview notes. So compliance is a big thing in Northern Ireland, and I appreciate that this is going to a wider audience than just Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
We prepare the likes of the quality monitoring returns. Insights is another thing. The question you've asked, I think what I would focus on is, rather than it's time, cost saving, SeeMeHired as a platform is an investment, but you're investing in your HR team and you are enabling them. And I think that's really important. And you wouldn't have an accountancy team who didn't have a software package.
Yeah, makes sense.
Why would you have an HR team that doesn't have a software package to help them, as I say, with compliance, but also in terms of taking out repetitive manual processes. So if you don't have it, then and you're posting to jobs boards, you may have to post that job 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times. With SeeMeHired, you post it once. When you're preparing your interview questions, we can help you. We can use AI to scan the job description, and we can then prepare and suggest interview questions for you. These are all things that save your recruitment team time, save your hiring manager's time, and I think in that effect then do save money, but it's productivity saving as opposed to a cash saving.
Yeah, makes sense. And you mentioned hospitality there. Who would be your ideal customer? Who would this be best used by? Is it a bigger company or a smaller company, or does that not matter?
So our vision is that we provide a comprehensive software solution to small to medium-sized businesses, but really enabling them to attract talent. It's a very, very competitive market at the moment in terms of employment. Most people are applying for 4 to 5 jobs at any one time. And so companies are in competition, so they need to offer a good candidate experience. They need to attract the candidates. So we're enabling small to medium-sized companies to offer the same experience as larger businesses. Our ideal customer is recruiting in the region of 20, 30 plus positions over the course of the year. They probably have more than one location, so they probably have 2 or 3 locations, and they are employing a mixture of roles, from the high volume roles to the more sort of specialist management roles as well. So we cater for all solutions, but that would be our ideal customer. So a business with headcount turnover, vacancy rates of over 20 people per year, 3 or 4 locations, and employing a range of candidates. Yeah,
excellent. And how long has SeeMeHired been going for? Is this a relatively new thing, or were you guys in your growth cycle?
So SeeMeHired is new. We're in our current form 2 years old. We, like a lot of software businesses, started as something and then became SeeMeHired.
Sure.
We're very fortunate that we've got the founder of the business working for us, who is the brains behind the operation, and a very focused and very clever individual who is driving the sort of the thought process. We're not unique in the market, but we do have very strong advantages. We're very customer centric. We're agile. We're flexible. We have all the benefits that a small business has, but we've got the intellect of a large business.
Excellent. And so I'm also keen to find out a little bit about yourself, Sam. And how long have you been in business yourself? And what sort of has it always been recruitment?
No, I've been in business for 30 plus years. I say that I think 30 plus years can be extended for quite a long time.
plus a bad.
My starting point was in the advertising world. And within advertising, there are 4 main disciplines. First is the sort of account management, the people who go out and meet and greet and talk to the clients. Then there's the creatives who come up with the ideas. And then there's this production team who make those ideas a reality. And then there's the media team. And the media team are the sort of the more numerate and numbers-based people, and they work out where advertisements will appear, who the target audience is, the best way to reach the target audience, the most cost-effective way to reach the target audience. And that's where I started my journey many, many moons ago in the 1988 in London with an agency called BSB Torland.
Excellent. And so I'm assuming there's a varying number of jobs in between, but okay, what would you say has been your biggest, you're MD now, so you're head of the management ladder, and what would you say has been your biggest learning in business?
Oh, that there are several that it constantly changes.
Okay.
I think that the level of digitization that I've seen over my time period has been phenomenal. And the efficiencies that has brought to business, that I think that would probably be the single biggest change.
Okay.
We've obviously been through quite an upheaval in terms of the whole COVID and hybrid working. That's again another very significant change from when I started in business. And has had a fairly large impact, particularly on management teams within business in terms of how they create a culture and how they create a sense of belonging to that business and a sense of ownership within that business.
Yeah. And so say if you were talking to somebody who's just about to launch a business, is there a piece of advice you would give them?
You stay very close to your customers and understand what it is your customers need, because your customers, there will be more businesses like your customers. And having that understanding and delighting customers will put you in a very strong position when it comes to attracting prospects.
And that I can tell you're congruent in that, because you said you guys are totally customer centric. I'm assuming that's what you were driving at when you said that.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
And what have you learned about yourself since in that business journey?
I think I've learned about that you have to be adaptable. So my journey has been from the advertising world. I then moved to a company called A.B. Brown, which was based in Belfast, and sort of adapted there. So started in the media side of the business and then moved into the account management side and then led a team in both media and account management. Joined the Belfast Telegraph to help them launch what was in those days quite new, which was the Belfast Telegraph online edition. So www.belfasttelegraph.co.uk. And that was a new venture, but it was related. And then prior to joining SeeMeHired, I was with NI Jobs, who are an online jobs board.
Sure.
So within that period, you working for the Belfast Telegraph, they would have had a job section, NI Job Finder, which was printed in the newspaper on a Thursday and then moved to a Friday. So that was a very large revenue stream for the Belfast Telegraph. And that moved from being a newspaper hard copy offering to moving online. So there's been a lot of transformation. Digital has driven a huge amount of change. And I think it's been adaptable and being curious. I think curiosity is a big thing. And I think that has helped me in terms of being curious about what is happening.
It sounds like you've been at the forefront of that change, with the digitization, even right back in the 90s there, right up to, at the forefront of it in recruitment. And how do you think you've managed to stay curious for the 30 some odd years?
I think it's in my nature. I think that I've always been interested in how people interact with media. That was my starting point.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in how they interact. More of late, and more so, it's become about working with people as well. So managing people, managing processes, and trying to ensure that the environment that you create is an environment in which people can thrive.
Yeah. And have you picked up any favorite quotes or sayings that have served you well, or you've leaned on along the way?
There's a few. I'll give you three. There's the magic triangle. I'm not sure if you've heard of the magic triangle.
I don't think so.
Well, at each point of the triangle, there is one point which is good, the other point is cheap, and the other point is fast.
Okay. Oh yes, yeah.
And you can have two of the magic triangle, but it's very, very difficult to get three.
Yeah.
You've probably heard it as a different one. My other one saying, which my children will tell you about, is that it's not the situation that you find yourself in that matters. It's how you deal with the situation that you find yourself in that matters. I have a theory that the majority of people's career is like a guided missile. When a guided missile takes off, it doesn't actually know where it's going, but it goes in one direction and it corrects, and then it corrects again, and then it corrects again, and it makes a large number of small changes and ultimately ends up where it is going to go to. So I think that a lot of people, I've been to a number of school open days and job days, and I seem to be the person who gets the question of people who don't know what it is they want to do. But my answer is always, well, start doing something, because it's equally as valuable to find out what you don't like doing as it is to find out what you do like doing.
Yeah.
And once you've started on that path, you can then make changes as you progress. And I suppose one other one would be, I think when things are getting, a lot of the time you would look at things and you say, if you were starting again, you wouldn't start where you are now, and that's always the case. So if you have the opportunity to talk to somebody who's done a business process or who's been involved in a similar process before, talk to them, because you can take out so much of the early learning by speaking to others who've got experience. So be prepared to go out and talk to other people who are working in a similar field, because they can share some very valuable knowledge with you.
So it's a nice segue into my next question. If you could go back in time and speak to like an 18-year-old Sam, what piece of advice would you give him?
That is a very good question. I would, looking back on my career, I would be say, don't be afraid to change businesses. Don't be afraid to change businesses frequently, and try and get as broad an experience as possible. Looking back and taking into consideration one of the rules I was in particular would be, don't put up with people who don't make you happy, would be another one, because I have had that experience in a working environment, and it's not very pleasant. And I probably didn't deal with it as quickly and as effectively as I would like to have done. So that would be, be prepared to move, be prepared to be ambitious, and if things aren't working out, make them work out.
Yeah, so I mean, you said all the way, like business, is all about you're surprised how much it's changed, and it's the digitization. So I suppose what you're saying, the 18-year-old Sam, is just embrace that change. It's going to happen. So just be open to it. Very
much so. Be open to change. Be curious. I see it with my own children growing up, in terms of one of them or two of them are working in the data arena, the other's working in the finance arena. One of the ones who's working in the data arena is doing finance courses just to broaden his knowledge, and I think that's a really really good thing to do. And I'm delighted they're working in data. When I left school, there were no data jobs, and now it's a bigger sector, and both working in very different areas of data, but I think very important.
And just to finish up then, what do you see the future for SeeMeHired, say, in the next 5 years, and what do you think the main challenges are?
So the future, we currently have 60 customers. I would like us to have 300 customers. That would be a challenge. How would we go about doing that? We need to grow our market, particularly in GB. So we're Northern Irish based, and one of the big challenges is really being represented in GB and getting cut through when you are a Northern Irish based company. I think one of the big challenges for any organization going forward is going to be how they sell their product with the emergence of AI. And you've got, I'm sure you've seen the likes of scripted emails and scripted communications that are happening. So how companies will sell their products and services. I think there's going to be a lot more comes down to recommendations and experience of products. I think that other challenges, particularly in software and in the recruitment sector, are the increasing competition for people. In Northern Ireland, there are 790,000 people as recorded on PAYE, which is the highest level it's been. There are 30,000 odd people unemployed. There is a large chunk of people, 300,000, who are economically inactive. So a lot of what companies are going to have to do is try and re-engage with those people who are economically inactive. That's a big challenge. For SeeMeHired, I think how we deal with the emergence of AI and how we apply AI in an intelligent way. Yeah. It's very easy to apply AI, but not in an intelligent way. And how we compete with the ever-increasing competition, which is I think goes with the territory.
Yeah. Well, look, Sam, I really enjoyed finding out a bit more about you and about your business. I wish you well with that growth journey. It sounds quite ambitious, and I'll certainly be keeping an eye out to see if I see SeeMeHired about and how you're getting on with that. But again, thank you so much for coming on today and being so open and honest with us.
Well, if anybody gets to the end of this video, which I'd be delighted if they do, and they want to find out a bit more SeeMeHired, they're a small business or a medium-sized business, and they're employing high volumes of people, then please do get in touch. We'd be delighted to hear from them.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sam.